Greetings! This is Unit 6, Module 2, Session 2. The name of this home connection is Frankie's Fairground. It's a two-pager. Put your name and number at the top, please. Frankie goes to the county fair every year, and she finds math problems everywhere she goes, and she needs our help. First thing we're going to do is write an estimate. We're going to make an educated best guess at about how close our number could be. We're then going to write the actual equation. Ignore that for now. I got ahead of myself. And then we'll use this space down here to solve and write the actual answer, the precise answer right here. Okay? So she buys 24 tickets to use at the fair. Each ticket costs 25 cents, a quarter, right? So how much money does Frankie spend on the tickets? Well, I know that 20 quarters is about $5. So maybe my estimate is we're going to be somewhere around $5. But we can think of this a couple different ways. 25 cents is also 0.25 because that's 25 hundredths. So that's 25 cents out of 100 pennies. We also know that 25 cents is 1 quarter. And we know that a quarter is 1/4 of a dollar. Okay? So we've got a lot of information we could work with here, and this is what I'm thinking. I want to know how many dollars it's going to be. So what if I take this 24 and I divide it by 4 to figure out how many quarters or how many dollars there are needed to purchase 24 tickets? A couple different ways I could do it. I could do long division. I could use my math facts. I could switch this around and say 4 times what number equals 24. And you could use your math facts to figure that out. No problem. But if we wanted to use one of our strategies from this unit, we could set up a ratio table, right? I could do something like this. And my goal is to get, so let's see, 1 ticket is 25 cents. 2 tickets is 50 cents. Let's skip to 4 because we know there's 4 quarters in a dollar. So there's $1 there. Well, let's just keep doubling. There's 8. So that's going to be $2. Let's double that. 16 tickets would be $4. If I double that, it's not going to work, right? So what I need to get to is to 24. Do I have enough numbers to get to 24? I actually do, because 8 and 16, when you combine them, make 24. So to get the answer, I just need to add $2 and $4 to get my answer of $6. So we were close with our estimate of $5. True answer was $6. Is it true that if you divide 24 by 4, you get 6? Yes, it is. Is it also true that if you take 4 times 6, you get 24? Yes, it is. So there's a few different ways to check your answer once you're done. Frankie goes on the Ferris wheel first. The Ferris wheel stands on a rectangular platform that has an area of 324 square yards. So I'm going to draw my rectangular platform that this Ferris wheel sits on, because a Ferris wheel will tip over if it doesn't have a big platform to stand on. So that's its platform. We said that one of the dimensions is 9 yards. So there's one of your dimensions. There's my 9. I know that when I multiply the length times the width, I get an area of 324. So length times width is 324 square yards. We know one of the numbers is a 9, so it doesn't matter where you put it, but I'll say 9 times the width is 324. And now I have to figure out what this number is. What is that W? How many 9s fit in 324? That's going to be that W. So if I wanted to, I could put the big number first, 324, divide it by the number that I know, and that's going to give me this value right here, this other dimension. Okay? How are we going to solve this? Do you want to try long division? Absolutely, you can go for that. 324 divided by 9. And then you can do it the standard way. Would you like to use the area model? Because we can absolutely do that as well. We could say that, well, 9 times 10 is 90. Well, what if I did 9 times 20? What if I said 9 times 20? Well, that would be 180. What am I up to now? I'm up to 270. I can't do another 10 because that would put me over, right? That would put me at 200 or 360. So we can't do another 10. So what if I did another 5? What if I did a 5? 9 times 5 is 45. Now what are we up to? At this point in time, you might be uncomfortable doing this mental math, and that's okay. Keep a tally over on the side. Keep your 180, your 90, and your 45 stacked, and add them. There's your 5. Let's see, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Carry the 2, so I'm up to 315. Okay, how close am I? Well, we're trying to get to 324, so if I wanted to, I could subtract that and see what happens, and maybe I'll do that over here. I know I'm getting my paper messy, but you know what? That's totally fine. Subtract those. I borrow here. That gives me, what's that? 9. And then 1 minus 1 is 0, 0. So I'm 9 away. Oh my goodness. I'm only 9 away from 324. That means I'm only 1 9 away. So there's my 1. I have 10 9s, 20 9s, 5 9s, and 1 9. So if I add up these 3 numbers, first it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, 10 plus 20 plus 5 plus 1, that is going to be my answer. Okay? 20 plus 10 is 30, 30 plus 5, 35, 35 plus 1, 36. So that is, and that's yards. That is how long the other side is. So I have 9 yards, 36 yards. Now, if we were going to estimate this, which, by the way, I did a really terrible job. I did my equations, which I should have written up here. We did that part. But I did a terrible job of estimating like the instructions said to. Let's do that real quick. 9 is pretty close to what number? 10, right? You'd say, how many 10s fit in 300, maybe 20? Just round that down to 320. How many 10s fit in 320? 32. So that's pretty close. Our estimate was in the ballpark. I just wish I wouldn't have done it in reverse. Darn! I gotta make sure I don't do that next time. I will not mess up on this one. Next, Frankie goes on the thrill ride roller coaster. Ooh, the roller coaster takes up a large rectangular area of the fairgrounds. It is 99 on one side and 88 on the other. So I've got an 88. I have a 99. How much space does the roller coaster take up in square yards? Square yards means area, and area is length times width. That's how you discover what the area is. I have a length, I have a width, so what am I going to do? Multiply them. Now, I said I was not going to forget. 99 is pretty darn close to what? 100. And it's not too difficult to take a 100 times an 88, okay? 100 times 88 would be 8,800, and my units would be square yards. Sorry, I had to double check to make sure it wasn't feet. But our equation, which we already said, would be 88 times 99. That's our equation. How are we going to figure that out? Well, I would suggest we use the over strategy, and let me explain that, and then I'm going to let you do this one on your own. We said 99 was close to 100. We already have a good number to work with. So if I do 88 times 100, and I get 8,800, to figure out what 88 times 99 is, I'm going to take that 8,800 and subtract one of the 88s. If I do that, I will have the answer, and I'm going to let you solve that and write your answer there. Make sure you write it in square yards. Write and solve an equation for each of the problems below. Use the table to help you. So we have a table that gives us unit conversions. How many centimeters are in 45 meters? Well, we know in 1 meter, there's 100 centimeters. Okay? So in order to make that work, we need to add 2 zeros to the number that we have here. If we're trying to figure out how many meters are in 45 kilometers, well, it would be nice to know how many meters are in a kilometer. And this says there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, so you're going to add 3 zeros. Okay? C says how many meters are in 800 centimeters. Okay, this is going to be tricky because it says how many meters are in 100 centimeters. You're going to be tempted to add 2 zeros, but that's not the way it works. To go from centimeters to meters, you're going to take away 2 zeros. Does that make sense? For 100 to become 1, I have to get rid of 2 zeros, correct? So if 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, I have to take the zeros off of the centimeters to figure out how many meters there are, okay? Oh, and then it says how many decimeters are in 40 kilometers. So in order to do this, all you're going to do is figure out, start at decimeters, right? Go to meters. From meters, go to kilometers. Count the number of zeros that you're calculating. That's going to help you with how many zeros you need to add to this number. As usual, you can always ask a friend for assistance. You can ask a teacher. They love to help out. We will catch you later.